welcome to the Crochet Show with your host, Nikki. I am so excited to be here. We're going to talk about how to make a solid single crochet granny square. Yes, it is super easy. It is really fun. I even have a chart for y'all, so it's going to make it even easier to follow along, and I'm just gonna go right into it. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is simply your yarn and a hook and possibly the chart if you need it handy. But I'm going to show it to you and it's going to be very easy to understand. I promise. I actually have the chart on my website, so go check it out. There's a link in the description to show you the chart if you need it. I'm not going to go through the entire chart, but I'm going to show you enough rounds very slowly that you should be able to do this on your own after you've done a few rounds. The first thing I do want to talk about is the chart. So here's the chart. I actually drew it out for you guys. I used a program to do it to make it even easier. So the very first thing you see here in the center is a magic ring. You can also use a chain, which I'll show you in a second, which would be the alternative magic ring if you wish. Now you're going to see here these X's. These X's are single crochet. These little tiny loops here that look like ovals, those are chains, okay? So, and then I added here numbers, okay? So I went until 7. You know, you can go further, you can stop earlier, whatever you like. So I'm going to make a little line here to make it a little bit easier to see the difference, but feel free to do that on your own. So right here, I'm going to draw a line all the way around, okay, like so, that you can see that is the very first round. I'm not going to do it for all the other rounds because that's going to make it very busy, right? So you can see here that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets right in the center into that magic ring or chain, depending on what you do, okay? And this is for round 1. Once we head into round 2, we're going to do 1 single crochet here. And then right here, I'm actually going to use a different pen for that. So right here, you can see that you're putting these 2 single crochets with the 2 chains right into this single crochet right in on top of it. Okay, that now starts to create the corners. You do that everywhere here, right? So right here, and then right here, they're all going into that 1 single crochet. Once you've done round 2, you're going to see that you're going to place the corners every single time into that chain space. So I'm going to draw this over here one more time so you can see how this now in round 3 goes also into the chain space. So like so, okay? So you can see how they're all now going, instead of into a single crochet like in the first round, after the second round, it always goes into the chain space, right? Now you're going to add single crochets as you're doing them, right? Due to the corner, and therefore you always have more single crochets to go with and therefore expanding outwards. So that is kind of how this works. So is this making sense so far? Leave something down below. Let me know if this is making sense as of right now. Now, this is just a brief little description on how to read a chart. I have a more detailed description on my website on how to read charts, like meaning different symbols, but this is just specifically for the single crochet solid granny square. So some people actually use this for like double crochets. I wanted to do a single crochet version. By the way, you may see some people use, instead of the 2 chains, they may use a 3rd single crochet. In my opinion, that's a little bit too tight and it may make it a little bulky or wavy. So in order to compensate for that, I made 2 chains. But, you know, it doesn't really matter if you are able to make it flat, right? The whole point is to make it flat. We're going to get started. I'm going to first show you how you would do it if you are doing the alternative version, okay? So if you're doing an alternative version, instead of the normal magic ring, you're going to start with a slip knot like so, and then you're going to make 2 chains. And then you're going to place all the 8 single crochets right into that very first chain, okay? So that first chain that you made would be the equivalent of the magic ring. So that's up to you. You're either going to do 2 chains and then place all of these 8 single crochets into that very first chain that you made, or second chain from the hook, or you're going to place it all into magic ring, which I'm going to show you now. So in order to do magic ring, this is how I do it. I kind of wrap it around over my 2 fingers like so. It looks like an X. Now I'm going to let go, but still hold tight on that X, right? I'm going to use my hook, grab the yarn, right? And then right where it goes right over that loop, that's where I'm going to hold tight. I'm going to let go over here on the left side, and I'm going to adjust my yarn as I normally would hold it, right? I like holding it like so. And then I'm going to insert into the loop right here. I'm holding everything still in place with my right hand. I'm going to place my ring finger of my left hand into the loop, and then I'm going to adjust everything accordingly so I have it ready to go. I like making 1 chain just in the beginning of the magic ring, and now I'm going to place all my 8 single crochets into that chain, into the magic ring. So let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, I'm trying to go as slow as I possibly can to make sure you're not catching everything yet you need to see. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my loop here, this end of the magic ring, and I'm simply going to pull until it's closed as tight as you can. And to make it easier on myself, I actually like using the end right here as a stitch marker. So I might get like a loop, so right like so, and just let it hang there, right, so that I know exactly where I am. So that's just me, but you can use an actual stitch marker if you like. You can also make a slip stitch and go from there, but I like going with my yarn that I already have in hand. It's there, might as well use it, right? So now we're going to go into round 2. So you can see here that we do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do to create the corner, we're going to place 1 single crochet, 2 chains, another single crochet. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So place first in the first stitch 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to place 1 single crochet, a chain of 2, and another single crochet. All right, so we just made our first corner over here. So now you can see it repeats itself 3 more times. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repeat it 3 more times. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and the next stitch 1 single crochet, chain of 2, and another single crochet. And let's do that 2 more times. While I'm crocheting, let me know down below if you have any questions so far. Trying to go slow to make sure you're really catching everything. And here I'm doing it 1 more time. So 1 single crochet, and in the last stitch again a corner. So creating the corner, so 1 single crochet, chain of 2, and another single crochet. So now you see how my little circle turned into a square. Okay, so I'm now releasing my yarn right here, so I'm just going to pull this, so therefore removing my stitch marker and moving it up. So I always like to add my stitch marker after the last stitch I made and before starting the new round, so that way I'm not going to miss anything. So I do not do a chain of 1, especially if I do continuous rounds, because I didn't make a slip stitch. Now, even if I made a slip stitch, I wouldn't make a chain of 1. It usually creates a little bit of a bulk, and for single crochet, I skip them. I do have a tutorial on that online on my website, so I believe it's called Smooth Edges, and I go very much in detail about why I skip my chain of 1 at the beginning of a round or row for single crochet. So now let me do round 3. So round 3, you can see right here, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and now we're going to make a single crochet into that single crochet we created in the row before, and that was from that corner. Now what we're going to do after that is we see the chain space, and into the chain space we're going to create another corner for the next round. Then the following stitch again goes into that single crochet from the previous round that was part of the corner. So in order to say it easier, I like to say 1 single crochet in each stitch until you hit the corner where the chain of 2 space is. There's where you're going to create the corner again with 1 single crochet, chain of 2, and 1 single crochet. Then you're going to repeat the process by creating 1 single crochet in each stitch until you hit the corner and repeat the corner again. So let's just do that, okay? So here's my first stitch. So 1 single crochet in that. Then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then right here is now the corner. So we did 2 stitches, right? Right there, 1, 2. And now we're in the corner, and in that corner, we're going to place 1 single crochet, a chain of 2, and another single crochet. So now here you have to kind of look a little bit more closely to make sure you're not skipping that next stitch right here. That can sometimes hide underneath the stitch that you just made. So right there, we're going to now create another single crochet. So again, 1 single crochet in each stitch, just like so, until you hit the corner. And once you hit the corner, this would be right here, right? We're going to place again the 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and another single crochet, all into that chain space. Now you see again we have stitches right here. So again, we're going to repeat what we've done before. 1 single crochet in each stitch until we hit the corner, or you can just say chain 2 space. Either way works, as long as you're not skipping or adding stitches. Make sure you're really not adding extra stitches. Sometimes that can happen, and in that case it may look like you're curling up, or you're doing, if you're skipping a stitch, it may make it into a bowl. So it's either wavy, then you have too many stitches, or it turns into a bowl and then you don't have enough stitches. So make sure you're counting your stitches. This is why I made the chart, so it makes it easier to count the X's, which are each a stitch. And then of course you have your chains, right? So right here. So now I finished row 3 or round 3, depending on what you say, right? So we did now all the way until here. So this is exactly where I am right now. And you would now go into round 4. It is pretty much now a repetition of the previous one. So let me use my hook for that. So I'm going to go through it real quick. So you can see now that we're doing 1 single crochet on top of each single crochet, right? And then in the chain space, we're going to place a single crochet, a chain of 2, and another single crochet. And then it repeats the process. 1 single crochet per stitch. And then again, into the chain space goes the corner. 1 single crochet per stitch, corner, 1 single crochet per stitch, corner, and then here's another few single crochets before you finish up the round. Now you can do the exact same thing with double crochet, half double crochet, triple crochet. Just be aware that first of all you have to change the number of stitches that are in the magic ring right here. First of all, you want to stay in a number that is a multiple of 4 in order to create corners, right? So typically I would say for half double crochet also stay with 8. And then for double crochet, I would definitely go up to 12 double crochets in the center, right? And then you have it broken up into enough pieces that it makes 4 sides, right? For the number of 12. So that would be 12 divided by 4. That would be 3 stitches per side in the very first area, right? So here you can see we had 2. So this would be then 3. In order to create then the corner in the 3rd stitch. So that would be for double crochet. For triple crochet, you can try 12 or you go up to 16, depending on how tight or loose your stitches are. So that is the difference between the different stitches. However, you may consider adding an additional chain here if you're going with bigger stitches. Sometimes they don't even add the chains. As I said before, they're just adding a 3rd stitch into the corner. So then you, in that that case, you just don't look for the chain space. You're then going to look for a stitch. For me, it is easier to look for the chain spaces in order to crochet the corners. But yeah, though that's kind of how I do this, and it's really, really fun in order to crochet the solid single crochet granny square. Yay! I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll see you guys here next time for more teaching with me, Nikki, your host from Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and I hope to see you then. Until the next time, bye!